Now, let's talk about our favourite couple. They've been very active this week, have they not? Well, let's do this one by one. I mean, once again, last couple of days, you know, they've gone off separately. These solo appearances are now becoming all that they ever do. Now, Harry has sort of said, oh, these divorce rumours are ridiculous. He went to New York to a book fair and he did one of these excruciating fawning interviews on the stage where, you know, they asked questions like, Harry, of all your triumphs, which do you think is the greatest? You know, those kind of, you know, backside crawling chats. Anyway, he did start talking about all the speculation. He said, oh, yeah, I keep hearing we've moved house 10 or 12 times. I've heard we've divorced 10 or 12 times. You know, and you think, so he's implying it's a load of old rubbish. However, you think, well, look, if you want to put pay to all of this talk, it's been 3 months, more than 3 months, since you two have been seen in public together. So instead of just making a video, which they made this week, of them looking very forcedly happy in Montecito behind the gilded gates of their mansion, why don't they just step out and get photographed together, because that would kill everything off. Why are they still pursuing this? I mean, you know, by all means, make as many solo appearances as you like, but surely now and again, to be seen together in public would stop people speculating that that relationship is in trouble. While he's in New York giving an asinine interview on stage at some book fair, she is at Tyler Perry's awards ceremony, some dreary Hollywood awards ceremony, looking sort of really pointedly alone, I thought. It's really strange, isn't it?
Well, first I would mention that the video you're referencing was a montage of the last 12 months. So when were they last together? We can't even pinpoint. Was it Tyler Perry's birthday party? Was the last time right around Prince Harry's birthday that we actually saw them together? And also, you know, the idea of Prince Harry being annoyed by our gossip, by anyone's gossip about his relationship, is like pot meet kettle. You opened the floodgates when you released an entire book about your family, gossiping on your family. Harry, you've been our #1 source for gossip over the last 4 years when it comes to the royal family. You know, that you brought this on yourself. But it reminded me, and tell me if I'm stretching, because Charles Ray slapped my hand earlier today. He said we have to stop debating this, but tell me if I am stretching here. There was a 1985 ITN interview with Alistair Burnett. Was that his name?
Alistair Burnett, yes.
Yeah, Burnett. And he was talking to Diana and Charles, and he asks them a little bit about their relationship. And there was an on-air exchange between Diana and Charles where he's like, yeah, we fight like any couple. And Diana is very adamant, like, no, we don't. No, we don't. And you see this friction. And a royal biographer, Robert Lacey, claimed in his 2008 book, Monarch, the Life and Reign of Queen Elizabeth II, that Diana had lied spectacularly in that interview. He added, Diana's insistence on an image of impossible perfection could, with hindsight, be seen as a telling clue to some of the problems in their marriage. And it was shortly after that interview that Charles officially reconnected with Camilla. So does the New York Times really think Prince Harry's going to sit on the stage and say, well, actually, we've not been getting along very well? You know? No.
Yeah, I think I've got to tell you, since you asked, I think it's all over. No, I mean, he's not going to do this. But there's only two explanations, as far as I can see, for this constant apartness, this constant separation in public. Never, ever seen together these days for more than 3 months in public, right? One explanation is that because their constant separation seems to promote lots of column inches, lots of headlines in the newspapers. Meghan in particular really likes it because she just likes getting written about. She likes being in the papers. So
we're not talking about how screwed up American Riviera Orchard is.
No, we will. Don't worry. Give me a couple of minutes. And so she's enjoying the publicity because she does enjoy the publicity. So that's one explanation. The only other explanation is this marriage is in trouble.
Well, I would tell you this. If we focus specifically on the professional side of the separation, I firmly believe that the professional separation is beneficial to one person and one person only, and that is Prince Harry. We liked Prince Harry before he met Meghan Markle. I think people are more likely to forgive Prince Harry than they are willing to forgive Meghan Markle. I know you disagree with me on that, but people have been invested in him since he was a little boy sticking his tongue out the window sitting next to Princess Diana.
I don't disagree with you, by the way. Certainly, people, I mean, Harry has committed awful sins against the royal family, but certainly the British people, they'd find it difficult, but they might begin to forgive him, but they'll never forgive her.
And we know that she is so self-consumed, so why would she agree to an arrangement where Harry is elevated and all of the press that is positive is about her husband? And we're going to spend 15 minutes talking about how lonely and ridiculous she looked walking another red carpet, having to be yanked off of another red carpet. Never met a red carpet that she didn't like. Is she wearing her hair back up now because her contractual obligations to the hair company she's invested in are over now? Why would she agree to that when the only winner in a separate, in a professional separation is Harry? Her claim to fame is the man that she is married to. End of story.
Yeah, indeed. Now, the other development this week, it's been written about over here in Britain, was that Posh and Becks, David Beckham and Victoria Beckham, were guests of honour at King Charles's Buckingham Palace state banquet for the visiting Emir of Qatar. Big state occasion. I mean, it's just full of anybody who's anybody is there. This is the who's who of the cream of British society, including all the royals, the King, the Queen, Queen Camilla, Anne, Edward, the Prime Minister Keir Starmer, you name it, they were there. This was a complete glittering array of Britain's elites. In the middle of these guests of honour, none other than Posh and Becks, David Beckham and Victoria Beckham, who used to be good friends with Harry and Meghan. Harry and Meghan fell out with them because Meghan told Harry to keep Beckham at arm's length because she thought that Victoria was leaking stories to the press about her. Now, I don't know Victoria particularly well. I've been around her. I've reported on that scene. I'll tell you one thing she doesn't do. She does not leak stories to the press. And because of that, David Beckham, was outraged and cut them off forever.
Well, not officially. Remember, Kevin, David went to see Harry at Invictus at the next year. Meghan, according to Tom Bauer, instructed Harry to have no photos taken with David Beckham.
That's it.
He did not want them to overshadow their Invictus game.
But it wasn't just that. It was that Meghan told him, don't have anything to do with Beckham because his wife has been giving stories about me to the press. I don't believe that was remotely true. Beckham's furious. But anyway, those two, that friendship, is over, well and truly over. And yet this week, I'll bet you, in Montecito, the whole atmosphere was green with envy because there are Posh and Becks right in the middle of Buckingham Palace with Beckham's new best friend, the King. They're best mates now because they both they both beekeep. They keep bees and they eat honey, with their homemade honey. So he's best pals with the King. He's at this big event, and meanwhile, over there in exile, not mattering a bit, outriders, Harry and Meghan sitting around in Montecito. They were not happy.
Yeah, David Beckham recently becoming an ambassador for the King's Foundation. David Beckham meeting with the King when Prince Harry was in the UK, and the King's schedule too busy to meet with Prince Harry. But we later saw photos of him while Prince Harry was in town spending time with David Beckham. Obviously, this is going to be a problem. And then Invictus announcing like Invictus trying to announce a slam dunk for them, I guess, announcing that Katy Perry's going to perform at the Invictus Games. And the headlines are like, oh, this is the biggest get Invictus Games has ever got. Well, you guys, I hate to break it to you, but a recent New York Post headline was why Katy Perry is 2024's biggest pop flop. You know, so I would say that Katy Perry, your neighbor, is a home run, but congratulations, guys.
Also, Harry has been a better race through these, Kinsey, but as I say, big active week on the Harry and Meghan front. Harry has also been declaring that he said this at this book fair in New York that he loves living in America, he loves raising his kids in America, and has no plans to leave, or specifically to return to Britain. Well, when Donald Trump becomes president and takes a good look at drug taker Harry's controversial, dubious visa details, Donald might have something to say about that. So that is up in the air. But I think probably a really quite important story, this, is that the Gruesome Twosomes charity, the Archewell Foundation, has had to return its tax returns. And that reveals that last year, their total donations were £5,700,000, £5 million of which came from a single mystery donor. I reckon that might have been Harry. Anyway, that's just my speculation. So basically 700,000, and then somebody gave him 5 million. Gee, wonder who that could be. Anyway, of that money, this was the charity foundation, Global Impact, Will Change the World. They gave $1.3 million to worthy causes from the 5-7, and of the rest of the money, more than 700, or around about $700,000 went to 3 executives in their salaries. Now, that
do we know if the men are still making twice as much as the women that work there too?
Actually, funny enough, that was 2 guys who earned a lot and 1 woman who didn't earn as much. But 700,000 in salaries, and these are from donations. So you donate to, if you're one of the rare people who donate to the Archewell Foundation, know this: hundreds of thousands of dollars is going in salaries. And that also, $1.3 million for the foundation that was going to change the world. That is, in charity terms, that's pathetic. That is a paltry, meagre sum. The Archewell Foundation isn't really happening, is it?
And then the $250,000 that went to Joe Biden's daughter. So, to me is pretty suspicious. You know, you're talking about this global brand. Well, $250,000 sent to Pennsylvania for a wellness center. You know, I think that looks pretty suspicious when the Biden administration contacted the judge that determined Prince Harry's visa application should be kept secret, you know, days before he actually made that decision. I think that is quite the coincidence.
It certainly is. And very quickly, last point, we have to make this. Meghan Markle's, our favourite topic, American Riviera Orchards, still not open for business, launched in March, still not open for business. She's been desperately searching for a chief executive. This search has proved unsuccessful. She said, apparently, you know, nobody lived up to her expectations. In other words, nobody wants to do the job. Anyway, she's finally found someone to do the job. It's her favourite person, herself.
Yeah. Good luck. I heard you have a tough boss.
Yeah, yeah. Don't make yourself cry, Meghan, you know, like you do everyone else. I mean, seriously, that isn't happening, is it? It's never going to happen, American Riviera Orchard.
They're so, I mean, they're in a very embarrassing position right now. And that's why you and I have noticed, I believe, that uptick in PR, whether Meghan is planting stories in Page Six or walking down a carpet, all, tan, nice and bronzed. They're trying to generate some positive press for themselves right now.
They are. It gets more and more ridiculous by the day. But my God, Kinsey, we got through a lot there. Always a pleasure to talk to you. Lovely hat, and we'll talk again next week.